Picture two people. Both make $70,000 a year. Both started saving at 25. Person A is 32 years old and has $40,000 saved. Person B is 35 and has $120,000 saved. Now, fast forward 10 years. Person A has $140,000. Person B has $480,000. Same income, 3-year head start, 3.5 times more money. How is that even possible? Because somewhere between $100,000 and that finish line, the math stops being about you. The math takes over. There's a reason Charlie Munger called the first 100 grand the hardest thing you'll ever do financially, and the rest a glide path. Once you understand why, you'll never look at your savings account the same way again. And you'll never want to skip a contribution again either. My name is Sam Invest, and I spend way too much time thinking about why most people never escape the financial treadmill. If you want straight talk about money, no fluff, no get-rich-quick nonsense, hit subscribe. Smash that like button too. All right, let's get into it. So here's what nobody tells you when you start saving. At small balances, your contributions are doing all the heavy lifting. If you have $5,000 invested and the market gives you a generous 10% return, you made $500. $500. That's a Tuesday at Target. You did not get rich. You barely covered inflation. The market could literally double, and you'd still be working the same job for the same paycheck. Honestly, most people quit investing right here. They look at their account, see it crawling, and decide the whole thing is a scam. They were sold compound interest as magic. They expected dollars to multiply on day one. Nobody told them the magic only kicks in once you've already done the hardest part. They put $200 a month into their 401k for 2 years, see $5,200 in the account instead of $4,800, and feel cheated. $200 of growth for 2 years of sacrifice. It doesn't feel worth it. It barely covers the lattes they skipped. But here's where it gets interesting. At $100,000, that same 10% return is $10,000. 10 grand. That's a used car. That's 3 months of rent in most cities. That's roughly what someone making minimum wage earns in a year of full-time work. Your money, sitting there doing nothing, just generated a working person's salary. And you didn't lift a finger. You didn't even check the app. That's not investing anymore. That's a salary. A second income stream that doesn't care if you're tired, sick, or on vacation in Portugal. And the kicker? You earn that 10 grand every single year, on top of whatever you keep contributing. Look, here's the part that messes with people's heads. Before $100,000, your savings rate is everything. After $100,000, your returns start to matter just as much as your contributions. Around $200,000, your returns matter more than your contributions. By $300,000 in a decent market year, your portfolio earns more than you do at your job. Let that sink in. The dollars you saved while skipping dinners out, while driving the busted Honda, while saying no to weekend trips, those dollars are now out-earning you. They never sleep. They never ask for a raise. They never call out sick. They just compound. And this changes you. It changes how you think about a $40 dinner. It changes how you think about a $500 weekend. Because now you're not just spending $500. You're spending $500 today plus whatever that $500 would have become in 30 years. Quick math, at 8%, that's about $5,000. So that bottomless brunch just cost you $5 grand in retirement money. Suddenly, the menu looks different. This is the mindset flip everyone talks about, but nobody explains. It's not about being cheap. It's not about hating fun. It's about finally seeing what money actually costs once you understand what it can become. And here's the weird part. The people who hit $100,000 usually don't celebrate. They look at the balance, think, finally, and go back to work. because they know what's coming. They know the next 100 grand will come faster, and the one after that, even faster. They're not chasing a number anymore. They're chasing the gradient. Now look, here's the third thing, and this is the one that flips a switch in your brain. Getting from $0 to $100,000 is, it's mostly a behavior problem. You have to save aggressively, avoid stupid debt, invest consistently, and not panic when the market drops 20%. It is a discipline test, a boring, brutal, multi-year discipline test. There's no shortcut, there's no hack, there's no side hustle that magically makes it easier. You just have to keep stacking. But going from $100,000 to $200,000 is faster, way faster. Going from $200,000 to $500,000 is faster still. Honestly, most people who hit $1 million say the second half took less time than the first 100 grand. The reason is simple. Compound interest is exponential, not linear. The curve is flat for years and then it bends sharply upward. You spend so long on the flat part that you stop believing the curve is real. And then one day it bends, and you wake up and the number in your account doesn't seem to belong to you. That's the part nobody warns you about. The compounding curve doesn't gently slope upward. It crawls for years and then it sprints. Most people give up during the crawl. The ones who don't get to watch the sprint happen. Look, I'm not telling you this to depress you if you're still climbing. The reason it feels impossible right now is because it actually is hard right now. You're not broken. The math is brutal at small numbers. So here's what you do. You don't need a perfect strategy. You don't need to time the market. You just need to keep contributing through the ugly years. Automate it. Forget about it. Because the people who quit at $20,000 never get to see what $100,000 does. And the people who push through, they get to a place where money stops being the main character in their life. It becomes the supporting cast, quiet, reliable, working in the background while you actually live. Your first $100,000 is a slog. Your second $100,000 is a tailwind. Your fifth $100,000 is a freight train. Keep stacking, keep showing up. The boring people who never quit win this game. Every single time. The most boring superpower in finance, and the only one that works. Drop a comment if you crossed that line already. I want to hear how it felt. See you in the next one.